Hello there jesters, janitors, and ensorcelled dust piles. Thought it was safe, did ya? Nope, I'm still here. If you're new here you'll see that all my other videos are battle reps, and I don't intend to deviate from that. But since it's been so frickin' long since I've been able to play a game,
I was thinking, what if we took it to the next level?
so I've done a little showcase video for my Thousand Suns. You can't always see the paint jobs that well in my reports, so I figured this is a nice opportunity to show them off a bit more. Here's my whole collection in all its glory, just over 3,500 points. Before we start taking a closer look, I have to say that I can't take credit for most of the paint jobs. The core of the army was bought second-hand a couple of years ago, beautifully painted, and at such a steal that I've been in mild shock ever since. If the previous owner is watching this, I salute you, good sir.
I just think they're neat.
Gotta start with the big guy himself. Pretty decent paint job on this guy, although the intricate details on the smaller models are more impressive. I'm really intrigued to see what kind of treatment he gets when the codex is updated, as currently he's showing his age a bit. His outstretched wings make the model ridiculously tall, so I'm very grateful that the previous owner magnetized them to make storing him much easier. Heading up the HQs is Airman, who's just a complete badass. Cast 3, deny 3, and a flat 3 damage melee weapon. He's hard to leave out of any list. The model isn't glued to the disc, so could be taken on foot if I could be bothered to make him a base, but I doubt I'd ever want to do that anyway. I have a trio of sorcerers, and here you can see some of the intricate paintwork a bit better, although I do need to finish the base on one of them. I have an empty disc somewhere so one of them can be mounted on that if desired. Rounding out the HQ section are 2 demon princes. These are actually more gas models from Age of Sigmar, but painted up right they fit the Thousand Suns aesthetic very well. I've been meaning to do something to make them easier to distinguish from one another for a long time, so I should probably, do that. As an aside, one of the things I'm most hoping for in our 9th edition codex, other than, like, good and flavorful rules, is more variety in the HQ section. I personally quite like the Zangor side of Thousand Suns.
Sorry.
I know it's not popular with many players, but I'd kill for a Zangor HQ. We may as well view the goat boys next, then. I have 30 all told, but only 26 are pictured, as the others aren't fully painted. That's right, I bought these painted dudes second-hand in 2018, I think, and haven't painted up the only 4 unpainted ones. I've just been too busy, not painting them. I absolutely love the models, and hope they get some love in the new book. They were pretty good in 8th but feel a little lackluster now. Ah yes, the rubrics. Wow, what the frick was that sound I just made? Anyway, the striking aesthetic of these guys is kind of what Thousand Suns is all about. Love the crisp paint job on them.
Bro, look how crisp those freaking lines are, dude!
The aspiring sorcerer's staff is broken, but I have the top part and just need to repair it. I've wanted another unit of rubrics for a while, but the models are just way too intricate for me to paint well. I'd probably give it a go if I didn't already have such a well-painted unit to try and match up to. This leaves second-hand as the only feasible option, but man, have you seen how much painted rubrics go for online? We're talking like £100 plus for 10 guys. Fortunately, I managed to pick up these ones in a different color scheme for a lot less than that. They're not quite as nice as the other unit, but they're still pretty neatly done, and I just have the bases to do. It may also come in handy having them in a different scheme if I need to differentiate the units on the battlefield. Last and definitely least, we have 10 cultists, who I accidentally left out of the main army shot. I can't be bothered to delete the background or even zoom in on them, they don't deserve it. They're pieces of shit.
Fuck them! Fuck them!
They have a terrible glossy paint job courtesy of myself, and I'm not even happy with the way I did the bases. Maybe one day I'll spruce them up a bit.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Onto elites, starting with the Terminators. Not much to say about these guys other than they have another intimidatingly good paint job, and I can't wait for them to be decent on the tabletop again. Oh, and to my despair I managed to break and lose one of the missile things from one of the Termies. Fuck's sake. I hellbrewed adds some tasty anti-tank fire to the elites section. This guy's equipped with a twin las cannon and missile launcher. He's nicely magnetized, but I can't see myself deviating from his standard loadout anytime soon. Unlike many other armies, our elite section is criminally sparse. The last elite's choice in my collection is a Zangor Shaman. Quite a cool little model, Good for buffing Zangors and slightly beefing up your psychic phase, especially now that the old-style Supreme Command detachment is a thing of the past.
It's bullshit!
The last Zangor unit, 3 enlightened with bows. I think to get any real use out of these as a threat, you'd have to take a huge unit, and even then I don't think they're anything too special. But I have a soft spot for cheap fast units that can grab objectives and just generally be an annoyance, so I often include them in my lists. If I do decide to get more in the future, God knows how I'm gonna paint them. I mean, look at the detail on these things. That's right, I said do.
Why?
Spawn are one of my favorite units in the army. And a word that's consistently difficult to get this frickin' thing to pronounce. Spawn. Sporn. Sporn. Whatever. This unit is one I painted myself, can you tell? Anyway, they're cheap, fast, decent in combat, and we have a frickin' awesome stratagem for them which makes them bonkers. That is all. This Vortex Beast is one I also painted myself in my usual basic fashion. Great model, although I removed the actual Vortex thing from its back as I didn't like it. Hopefully this cool unit'll get some better rules in future. Another scary looking big Gribbly. The Mauler Fiend looks different cause it was an eBay purchase. I fully intend to paint the armor panels blue someday, and redo the base, but it's pretty low down on my to-do list. Wow, some actual firepower. Look, I know this Predator looks like ass due to the sponsons being in the wrong place. This is partly due to a lazy magnetization job back before I worked out how to magnetize stuff properly, instead of just gluing massive magnets to the exterior. But this tank is actually a Rhino, and to have the sponsons in the right place I'd have to file the ladder thing down, which I don't want to do. Look. See? A Rhino. I told you it was a Rhino. And if I ever want to actually use it as one, I'll do something about those god-awful magnets. Probably. Woo, last unit. Before I owned it, I kind of hated the Defiler model. But now I quite like it. This was another eBay find, and although it's painted in a different style to the main army, it still kind of works. It has some pretty snazzy edge highlighting on the armor plates, and is magnetized in the middle. On the tabletop, I really like these all-rounder units, which have enough shooting to be a threat at range, but which hit like a ton of bricks in combat. And that's all of it, 3,500 points of Thousand Suns. I have a small demon detachment which I used to use in 8th, but since 9th penalizes you for taking additional detachments, I don't think I'll be doing this much if at all in future. The demon detachment may fizzle out, or it may swell in future, who knows. Of my other armies, only my Harlequins are particularly well painted, but that army's pretty small and in some games I've used pretty much the whole range, so there's probably not much point in a showcase unless the army expands. I have a lot of orcs, but it will be a while before they're tidied up enough for a showcase. I might do this for other armies in future despite them being a bit more bog standard looking, but it probably won't be for a while. Anyway, that's the end, so thanks for watching, take care etc., and I'll hope to see you soon, for some more battle reps.
Goodbye. So happy to have met you.